And I was living a very busy life, traveling week in, week out, working for an international corporation like Ericsson. And then suddenly COVID hits, borders are closed, you are confined to the spaces that you have been working from, which is the four walls of your house and your working place. Now, I used to come and visit Pakistan every 4 or 5 months. I wasn't able to do that anymore. I wasn't able to visit my homeland anymore now. And I had no idea when I would be able to visit Pakistan during that time. But there was another realization that I had. We used to think of distances in time. If you have to go to Europe, it's 8 to 10 hours. If you have to go to Dubai, it's 3 to 4 hours. We forgot the real sense and the immensity of distances. So one day I sat and I looked at Google Earth and I looked at Google Earth and I calculated the amount of time it would take me to drive from Istanbul back home to Pakistan. The calculation was 2 days, 18 hours. And I would have to travel the whole breadth of Turkey, then Iran, then Afghanistan, and then Pakistan. That was mind-blowing. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that as well. Some of you might have started your careers and your study actually while during the COVID, but people who were studying before that as well, we were very comfortable to having our study place and then our home place. But now everything got mixed together. The boundaries eroded. That was too many things. So, and I think what COVID has done is it has really eroded the boundaries between personal and study, between personal and work. Now, if you think about human mind really works well when you have boundaries. When you have boundaries of your work setting, when you have boundaries of your personal life. And I'm sure if I ask you, you will tell me the same thing. But when you are forced to work and study from your bedroom the same day in, day out, it's not a very enjoyable experience. Our coffee tables, our dining tables became our study tables. And that is what COVID has done. But another thing which I think the telecoms and IT industry has enabled is we became online. It has taught us to be online. But you are a young crowd here. One thing I can tell you is, which I feel a lot of time is, we are always online but never available. And that for me is a big learning out of COVID as well. We started thinking of people in 3 colors actually. Green, if a person is available. Orange, maybe away from the machine. Red, the person is busy or in a call. So this was the new normal that all of us experienced. But I had my own personal normal, which hit me 1 year into COVID. Now, I'm a runner, I enjoy running, so I used to do 8 to 10 kilometers running every day. And I started developing a pain in my left leg. I thought it was normal. After a few times, I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me one of my discs had moved. I needed a serious surgery. I said, if I go for the surgery, how much time will I have to take off? The doctor looked at me, looked at the report, and said, maximum 2 to 3 weeks. I said, okay. I did the calculation, I will manage my work, I will manage my life, let's go ahead and do the surgery. 8th March, I went into surgery. It was a 6-hour surgery. When I came out, I had a wonderful sleep. So when you get anesthesia, the sleep is amazing. But then, the doctor stood in front of me and said, the surgery went very well, but your recovery time is going to take a bit longer. Now, doctors in the room, I know when you say a bit longer. That bit was from 3 weeks to 6 months. I was told to be on bed rest for 6 months. And I was given time during the day when I could literally even move, which was not more than 15 to 20 minutes. So the space that I was confined to, where I used to walk and live, now also became my bedroom. And that used to be my life for 6 months. When you're lying on a bed and you have all the time in your life, there is a lot of thinking that you can do. After the first 2 days, I went into serious depression. Because previously I was living a very active life. I had imagined I would be bedridden for 3 weeks. Now I'm told I'm bedridden for 6 months. That became my new normal now. I was in COVID and I had to face that surgery, and when I came out, that was my life. Now, all of you are young, you are in a very prestigious education institute. But when I studied, this was my takeaway. You don't allow your schooling to interfere with your education. I was schooled to study. I was schooled to challenge myself. I was schooled to ask questions. And that also means education doesn't finish when you leave the gates of any place. It continues. And I needed new education, how to handle that. So what I did was, I enrolled myself in a university course. I used to work during the day, in the evenings, I used to take classes. And the course was Introduction to Psychology. I'm an engineer by profession, so psychology was something new for me. But only with one objective, and that is, what is it that brings meaning to your life? When you have to face a new normal, which some of us had to while we were in COVID, and things can change. It could be a new normal that I was facing. It could be a new normal that you will face when you will leave this prestigious institute and seek jobs. Things are not going to go as you plan. That is exactly what Sima talked about as well. So what is it that I concluded out of that? And that is what I want to share with all of you here, which is my distillation of thoughts on what I believe when you want to establish a meaning in life, what is it that you need? First and foremost, what is the most important thing is to have a strength in your beliefs. It is to have a spiritual connection. Now, some people draw it from religion, other people draw it from understanding personalities. But it is very important in life to have spiritual connections. I think for us it is easy because we have a religion to follow, but irrespective of the religion, it is very important to have a spiritual connection and a belief system. And the example I can give is, it's not a very creative example, but God forbid if now we have suddenly earthquake in this room, what is it that we are going to ask ourselves? The first question is, what is happening? Because we try to understand what is happening. And the second question is, we will fall back to our belief system. Now, with the belief system, it is equally important to have your ideals in life. It is very important to follow your ideals. It can very well be people at home, it could be people in your neighborhood, or it could be people that you aspire to be or who inspire you. So first and foremost, very important to have spiritual connection and beliefs. The second one is the quality of relationships. And I actually call this dolphins. So dolphins are mammals like us, but some people say they are more intelligent than humans. And if you look at the anatomy of dolphins, their brain to body ratio is much bigger than humans. They actually can communicate at lengths naturally, whereas we as humans need a lot of equipment to communicate. But dolphins, if you pay attention, are not automatic breathers. For a dolphin to breathe, they really have to do a conscious effort. They have to come out of the water, draw a breath, and go down. When a dolphin goes into a depression, or when a dolphin doesn't want to live anymore, the only thing a dolphin does is it goes down to the pond or to the bottom of the sea and stops breathing. That is suicide for dolphins. Now, what breathing is to dolphins is communication to humans. We are a communicating animal, and we get a lot of that through our relationships. There's a culture in South America, and that culture has been isolated for a very long while. So they don't have the traditional words when they meet. They don't say salam and hello and good morning and stuff. They have their own language even. But when they meet each other or when they see each other, a person arriving would say, I am here. And the person greeting would also say, I am here as well. That is the greeting that they have. But it is also a way of acknowledging the presence of each other. So when you are in relationships and when you are sitting across people, make sure you are present there as well. I know phones are very important, I work in that industry. But sometimes paying attention to people across you so they feel your presence is very important. And that is the strength of relationships. When I went through that crisis, it was my relationships with my family that really helped me pass through. The third thing is the importance of having some physical activity. Now, we humans are actually designed to be runners. There is no animal on this planet which can actually run, breathe, and sweat at the same time. Even horses and cheetahs cannot do that. That is one aspect of how physical activity is gained into us. And the reason it helps us is because it generates healthy chemicals like endorphins, which is really very much required for our bodies. So having a routine in your life which keeps you physically active is very important. The next one is creativity. And I would call this purple cow. Has anyone seen purple cow? But I bet now you won't be able to take the image out of your minds because now you can imagine it. And that's the beauty with human mind. We seek novelty. We like things which are different. We like things where there is creativity. So it is important to have a pursuit where you can get some creativity. It could be painting, it could be gardening, it could be anything. But try to spare time for that as well. And the last thing, which is vocation or work. Vocation is if it happens to be the same thing that you are passionate about, otherwise it could be very well your job. Now, if you pay attention in our education system, 80 to 90% of time we are trained and we are being educated to focus on one aspect, and that is what? It is work. It is job, which is important. But there are a lot of other things in life which bring purpose and meaning to it. And my request to all of you after going through this experience that I shared is when you look to yourself tomorrow in the mirror, ask yourself, how are you doing on these 5 things, on these 5 items? And there is no one better than you yourself to judge that. Last thing I would say is we have a tremendous capability to ignore what we don't know. And the only way for us to know that is to seek and ask questions. If you look at our prophet, if you look at other prophets, religion or anything else starts with asking questions. And it is very important to actually realize what is it that you want to know. You have the whole life ahead of you, but don't even stop asking about this. And which is, what is it that I don't know? And start with being very curious about it. Thank you.